Welcome to the warm up with Jot and Van. Before we get into it, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell so you never miss an episode of the warm up. Continuing our season outlooks today, we are talking about the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that's been in the news over the last couple of weeks over a multitude of things with the Kawhi stuff. A team that picked up and got a lot of veteran depth on the back end, trading players like Norman Powell, acquiring players from John Collins, Brooke Lopez, Chris Paul, and Bradley Beal as well. So, what's your thoughts on the Clippers this season, Ben?
Man, I think with the Clippers, obviously you have sold out on getting veteran talent. You've made
Mm-hmm.
that clear. No one thinks otherwise.
Yeah.
But I truly think there is a scenario where this really could work for the Clippers. They've got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys with a lot of talent. I'm excited to see where they go. We can go ahead and kick it off. Let's take a look at their roster and see what they've got to work with this season. So, as Josh said before, we've got Kawhi, James Harden. Those are obviously your cornerstones. They were able to pick up John Collins. They got Bogdan last season. Derek Jones was signed last season. Picking up Brooke Lopez, who was in Milwaukee for a really long time. It's another big pickup. Obviously, I think the signature one was Bradley Beal, getting to bring him in to play alongside James Harden and Kawhi. I think Bradley Beal specifically has a really good chance to be able to resurrect what was, before he went to Phoenix, a fantastic career. So I'm really hoping just for him personally that he's able to really play well here, because I know that his time in Phoenix was not fun. So really rooting for him. And then obviously Chris Paul, who signed a 1-year deal. This could potentially be it for Chris. He's had a legendary Hall of Fame career. I'm glad he's going to get to end it here. If
Mm-hmm.
this is indeed his last season, he's going to get to end it where he had his most success, back with the Lob City Clippers. So very excited for that. When you really look at this team from top to bottom, it's a lot of guys who have a lot of experience and a lot of big game moments. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. I'll throw Brooke Lopez and Derek Jones Jr. into the mix, since they both have finals experience. Bradley Beal is obviously a big time guy, and Chris Paul has also been to the finals. You have a lot of guys who have been there, done that. So the question is, what lineup wrinkle can you come up with that's going to make this successful? How are you going to blend the young guys with the old guys? And also, what is it going to look like as far as health is concerned? Because when you have veterans like this, it's going to be hard for them to play a full 82 game season.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I think some interesting things to just talk about real quick is like Kawhi Leonard. Like obviously his health is a big factor on where this Clippers team is going to be at. I think adding a guy like Bradley Beal who can upscale the ball handling role or descale his ball handling role depending on if Kawhi is playing or not is going to be huge for them. John Collins is a guy when he got to Utah where he couldn't really shoot the three ball, and then he got to Utah. He's really worked on the three ball and playing with a guy like James Harden, a guy like Chris Paul, who want to feed the lobs, also do the pick and pop. I think this team's really deep. I think they're probably one of the deepest teams in the NBA. I think the losing Norman Powell, yeah, it hurts them, but Bradley Beal does a lot of things that Norman Powell couldn't do as well. So it's like there's pros and cons to it. Um, I think a lot of this is influx of offensive talent. I think we'll go a long way for a team that was top three in defense this past season, with Zubac anchoring that. Yeah, so I think this team, if they're healthy, they're gonna be good. They're super deep. You got all this depth around Kawhi where he doesn't have to play these 35, 40-minute games in the regular season. He can play 20 to 25 minutes and probably be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For them, yeah, with Kawhi, the thing is, um, we haven't seen him play a full season in a very long time, and last season doesn't even
Mhm.
count because he missed a lot of time to start. He did come back earlier than I expected, and he did play
Yeah,
well. He
yeah.
didn't play Kawhi well, but he played well enough. So I'll
Mhm.
applaud him for that. I will say one thing about this Clippers team: when they went into the playoffs and they took Denver to 7, it was like a very good 7 game series. And I was
Yeah,
thinking to myself, like, listen, if the Clippers get past the Nuggets, like, who's to say that they can't get to the West Finals? Who's to say they
yeah.
can't get further than that? So they had a lot of potential. with that team. And that team, I don't think will be as good as this one because you've added Beal, you've added other veterans that are going to be there to, give you 15 to 20 a night. I mean, the Bradley Beal thing is definitely interesting because I'm just very interested to see where they're going to line him up with Harden. Are they going to put Harden at the 1, Beal at the 2? I'm assuming Beal will play the 2, then Kawhi the 3. Like when you have those 3 guys out there, because we know very well that James Harden is a very ball dominant point guard.
Yeah.
And you faced the same situation in Phoenix when you had Devin Booker, who was the face of that organization. So my question is, like I said at the beginning, I hope this goes well for Beal. But if him and Harden can coexist, and Harden has coexisted with other guards for. He's coexisted with Chris Paul. He did with Russell Westbrook. While they didn't have like the playoff success, they had regular season success. So I think I would definitely give that a chance. And then bringing in Brook Lopez to pair with Zubats. So you like when Zubats goes out, you probably put Brook in, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
And Derrick Jones Jr., who is a wing that I'm just simply not going to sleep on.
Yeah.
Great 3-and-D guy. He's learned to shoot the 3 ball better, great slasher. Um, and then CP3, who can also go in there and get it done. My question for you is, where do you see this team finishing in the West?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if they stay healthy, everything is right. I have them in that tier right under the Thunder and the Nuggets, in that the
Wow.
Lakers, the Clippers, I have the Rockets in that. With the injury of Fred VanVleet, I just
Okay.
can't have them in that tier. I think
Yeah.
like if everything goes right, I think they probably should be a 3 or 4 seed. They have so much depth. I think in a league where everyone's starting to get much size, they have a lot of front court depth. You have a backup center in Brook Lopez, who's been starting the past 6, 7 years with the Bucks, and he's a really good backup big. And him and Zubac don't do the same thing. So when he comes in, he's more of a pick and pop threat, which is a totally different look. And having 2 different big looks, I think, goes a long way with a player like James Harden who's trying to beat the ball. I think this team's going to be good. I think if they can be top 3 defensively again, and then with this influx of offensive talent, they probably could be top 10 offensively. With that, and you're probably thinking right now, oh, if they're going to be top 3 defensively and top 10 offensively, like that sounds like a title contender to me. Yes, but their 2 best players are James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Two
Mm,
players, and James Harden, we've seen it time and time again. The big moments, he
yeah.
tends to fade away.
Yeah. Real.
Maybe a player like Bradley Beal being next to him, he could overshadow some of that. But I mean, at the end of the day, this team's overall record and who they're going to be is Kawhi Leonard on and off the court with the scandal going on and the health concerns as well.
Yeah. I would say I think it'll be 3 and 4 is definitely possible. I think it might be a little lower. I would
Hmm.
say 5-6 is
Yeah,
realistic for them. But they do have the potential to be up there. It will just depend on the contribution from everyone because I don't
right,
think this is not a team where you can say, okay, we got a bunch of key guys out. We got Harden. Harden's going to go get 50. We're going to win the game. It's not like that
right.
anymore. So it's going to take a lot of contribution. It's going to take guys being available and on the floor. Because realistically, looking at this lineup, like you're probably going to be able to roll out a lineup of like, you could possibly play like probably 10 guys a night if
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
lucky. I mean,
easily,
like
easily.
you've got contribution all over the place with this team. So they're obviously in the middle of just building a new identity. They've got their brand new stadium. They've got their brand new, branding. Um, they're obviously a team that's in transition mode. I don't expect this roster to stay the same for years to come because
No.
obviously these couple of these guys are going to be out the door. So their future is going to be an important thing to focus on. But for now, I would say they're definitely going to be one of those teams in the West that will get slept on. But they're going to be one of those teams that's going to get a lot of regular season wins against opponents they should beat. The question
Yeah.
will be when they have those big games against those big West opponents, what are they going to do with those moments? Because that's going to separate that A tier from the B tier in the Western Conference.
No, yeah. And just to add on to what you're saying with their future in the next couple of years, the only person on the 2027 cap sheet is Zubac. So they're really going all in right now. It's imperative that they're good because the future is kind of bleak right now in Los Angeles. You just don't know what's going to happen with this whole Kawhi
Mm.
thing, and it's not looking great for them. They are hosting the All-Star game this year.
Yes, they are.
Teams that tend to host the All-Star game tend to do pretty good for some
Hmm.
reason. Don't ask me why, but they do.
Yeah.
Superstition. But I think this team got a lot of depth, and you don't need every guy to go off every night. You don't need every guy to play every night. Like there'll be nights Kawhi, sits out, and you'll have Beal and Zubac, carrying the load offensively. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. In a Wild West, as wild as it's going to be this year, we're just going to have to see where they finish and go from there. But definitely a team that could make some noise. That would be my
yeah,
final thought.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in on the Los Angeles Clippers season outlook. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.